We live. I think we're live. Good afternoon or evening. Good evening, everyone. We're so excited to be here with you tonight. I am Jillian Willie, and with
I
me,
am Dr. Matt Singer.
and we are the coaches at EXO and founders of EXO Universe. We are so excited to be here with you all tonight. Whether you're watching live or watching the replay, drop a hey or a good evening or a good morning, depending on what's going on, what time it is for you, and let us know that you're here. As we are chatting about prosperity, if you have any questions, if you have any comments or ahas, takeaways, feel free to drop them in the comments. We'd love to engage with you all and really learn with you. So today we are talking about prosperity, what it means, give you some tips on how to bring some prosperity into your life. So, Matt, can you share with us a little bit, like, what is prosperity, or what is that?
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite topics. So, I've been studying prosperity for so long. There's so many amazing authors and masters who have talked about prosperity. One of my favorite quotes I heard um, is prosperity or abundance is the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. It isn't necessarily about money. It isn't necessarily about material things. It's the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. So if you need to buy a new car, it's the ability to do that. If you need to buy a new house, it's the ability to do that. If you need to travel, it's it's the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it, not necessarily stockpiling all this money and then spending some of it to do this or this or this. It's allowing the universe to tickle you and to show you every single thing that you desire is actually already yours. So that's always been my favorite quote that I live by for prosperity is the ability for me to do what I need to do when I need to do it. And it opens up the conversation to so much more than just money. So tell me about you. What is your definition?
Yeah, mine's fairly similar to that. I look at prosperity as a state of being, more
Mhm.
of like an emotion or a feeling that we have rather than a status or how much of something that we have, which I think that goes hand in hand with what you were saying, because when you feel prosperous, you're able to take care of whatever you need to in your life, whether that is a new car or, fixing something in your house or whatever. I think it implies kind of a freeness or a desire to have like what's good for you, or to feel complete, or to feel satisfied, or to have abundance. All of these emotions are kind of tied together and connected. So to me, that's more that's what I look at
Okay.
prosperity as.
So let me ask you a very deep, interesting question about prosperity because we know that prosperity it's a state of being, it's an energy, right? So let's say, for example, there's a desire that we have that we really want to do something. Let's say whether it's a new job or new career or something, but our current life, we're living a job that we don't necessarily like. We want to be here, but reality has us here, but we want to be here. And someone says, I feel like I'm stuck here. How do I get here? What would your suggestion be to someone like that?
Well, I would say, first off, you are experiencing whatever it is for a reason. There is a lesson and a growth opportunity in everything. And we have to go through whatever experiences we don't like in order to find ourselves and our passion and our calling and transform through the experience. So I would say, first off, find the good, find what you can be grateful for in that experience. And then get into the energy of what you want. Really start visualizing and putting yourself into that end result of what you really want, and carry that through your day. And sometimes that can be hard. So I would say, when you're going through your day, what in your day can you find that connects to what it is that you want in your end result, to kind of help bring that energy through the rest of your day, to keep you in that feeling, because emotion is what draws the experience to you. So, everything we experience is a reflection of what's going on inside. So if we can live that emotion and we can become that emotion, then whatever it is you don't like will eventually fall away. By law, it can no longer show up for you.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. If we really, really want something, right? Are we in a state of abundance or in a state of lack?
Oh, that's a good question. So when you want something, that is a state of lack, which is the opposite of prosperity or abundance. So when we want something, that is a feeling of desperation or a feeling of I don't have it. And not having something is lack, right? So yeah, we want to try to come from it, from the feeling of I already have it, or I know that it is already done.
So for somebody who is in the situation where they were in a job that they didn't like, if they were actually in that dream job, what would the emotions be of somebody who was in that dream job?
I think it's going to vary a little bit, but at least from my perspective and from clients that I've worked with that have this similar, issue or desire, it's a feeling of freedom. It's a feeling of joy. It's a feeling of complete, like following your passion and just elevation and abundance and feeling prosperous because you are doing what you want to do.
So basically, from what you're saying in your infinite wisdom, is if somebody were to stay in a state of gratitude and appreciation and freedom and joy without necessarily having to think about the thing that they want, if they just felt freedom and they felt joy and they felt expansion and they just had an expectation that it was already there, you're telling me that that's the state of abundance, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're feeling those emotions, then you have to, by law, attract to you what it is that you are wanting to bring into your life, knowing it's already there, because it's the same. It's at the same vibration of what you're feeling.
Beautiful. So really what you're saying is the universe doesn't speak English. It speaks vibration,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
So when we feel the feeling of the end result, no matter what it is, a relationship, a job, a material object, a new puppy, whatever it may be, if we're in the end result, if I'm living it, feeling it, as if it's I don't know the difference, now I'm matching the frequency of abundance as though I've already have it, right?
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And it'll come to you very quickly as well when you're matched to the
Hmm.
vibration.
Yes.
When things aren't coming to us quickly, it's because we don't have purity of thought. We're kind of bouncing back and forth. We're letting our old self or our ego kind of get in the way and bring us back. So, it's not to say that that thing won't show up for you. It just might take a lot longer than it needs to if we
Right.
can stay in that vibration.
So if we can use the spiritual side instead of the physical side. So if we physically try and force something, it's exhausting.
Mhm.
But if we use the power, the energetic power that we have, and we visualize it and we feel it and we see it, it's going to come faster and it's going to be so much easier. It'll literally come to us, right? It'll like fall into our lap. Um,
Yep.
so tell me about, let's talk about another subject in terms of abundance. People, I've heard from a lot of different masters, Esther Hicks and Tony Robbins and Joe Dispenza. Some of them like to kind of give step-by-step formulas. And one of the things that always sticks with me is, we have the vision, we feel it, but the, the last step is always let go and surrender. So tell me what you think about that.
Absolutely. I think because that comes from that place of knowing, that place of it's already done.
It's
If
already
you
done.
if you know that it's done, there's no reason to stress about it. There's no reason to hold on to it, right? You can
Yes.
surrender it and let the universe do its thing. And I think a lot of times we try to force outcomes, or there's this saying like you have to work really hard to get what you want. And when you're in this work, the fact of the matter is you really don't. Kind of like you were saying before, it literally can fall in your lap.
Hmm.
The hard part, the work, so to speak, in this case, is the internal work of staying in the vibration, of doing the visualization, and healing internally, becoming whole and loving you. That's the work that you need to do. If you can do all of that, then what you want in the physical is going to come very rapidly.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And I love what you said about that. So when we surrender, we're having the energy as though it's already there. It's kind of like when we think about things in our life that we already have, we realize we don't think about them because we already have it. It's already a part of us. So if we take that energy and apply it to the things that we're striving for, we'll see that it comes to us in lightning speed. Here's the other caveat. It will come in the path of least resistance, but it will not come the way that our physical brain thinks it will come. It will come the way that our higher self knows is the path of least resistance. So let's say somebody wants this dream job and they think it's going to come to them because they're going to have to meet this person and go on this interview and have this and this and this happen. But your higher self may say, no, there's an easier way. What you're going to do is this and this and this. To our physical brain, logic brain may say that makes no sense, but your higher self, it already has the details worked out. What do you say to that?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. When we're creating something new, no matter what it is, we're creating it from an unknown place. Because if it was known to us, because if it's predictable, it fits into your current life, as in it's something you've already created, because we're always living in the past, which
Mm-hmm.
that might be a topic for another day. But when we're creating something new, something unexpected, it's going to come to us in a way that is also unexpected. Because if it
Yeah,
was expected, it wouldn't be new for us. Does that make
correct.
sense?
100%. I love the way you said that because, and I know it's a whole nother topic, but like you said, if we're coming from the past, that means that all of our frustrations, all of our fears, all of our doubts that were in the past are going to be creating our future. So we're creating our future from the energy of the fear and the lack and the worry. But when we come from the now, that means we're creating our future based on the energy of already having it, gratitude, joy, ease. So when like you're saying, that's why I love it. I mean, when we can get out of the past and get into the now, then it's going to come to us in the path of least resistance, the way that we've set it up.
Yeah, and
So
that's
it's so,
part of the fun, I think, is just
mhm.
is being surprised and
Yes,
seeing how things fall, and not being predictable.
yes. And to all the people who are listening, if you think about it like this, if for anybody who's married, if you think about the moment you met your spouse, I think about the day I met my spouse. I was in Starbucks, but what was so interesting was a week before that, I said to the universe, because I had just gotten out of a bad relationship, I threw my hands up and I said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm done looking. I'm not even interested anymore. I'm just going to finish focusing on school. I'm going to make my school my primary. I'm done." And a week later, I met my wife because I surrendered, held no resistance, didn't even think about it, and the universe brought it to me.
You probably
So
never expected it would be in Starbucks.
never. And that's where the path of least resistance happens. It wasn't hard. I didn't have to force anything. I didn't have to ask people for blind dates or anything. It just happened because I surrendered. I had the intention and I let it go. I forgot about it. Just like I hear people stories of people, they buy a lottery ticket and they forget about it. And then 4 months later, they find it and come to find out that they won, the jackpot. It's one of those types of things. So I know we're getting towards the end of the time, but tell me your favorite story about abundance that sticks out in your mind. It doesn't have to be about you. It could be about someone you heard it from somebody else in a book you read, or if you have a favorite story. What's one of your favorite stories?
About abundance. I need to think for a minute.
While you're thinking, you want me to tell you mine?
I would love to, yeah.
Okay, so Tony Robbins was telling a story when he was young. He was doing a seminar in California in a castle he had rented, and he loved this castle. He would visualize himself in the castle. He was even doing a seminar where he told people he just bought this new castle. And his manager said to him at the time, "You can't do that. You're lying." He's like, "But you got to realize, every night I'm in my mind, I'm visualizing myself. I'm living there. I'm owning it. I feel it. I smell it. It's so real to me." So within the next 2 months, he literally had already. He was so detail oriented in his mind that things lined up, and he was able to buy the castle. So I know I'm making it a very short version, but the thing that was so interesting was he at the time was making $38,000 a year, and he bought a $2 million castle, and he never in a moment doubted for 1 second that it wouldn't work out for him. He said he was making $38,000 a year. He wrote a check for the last $40,000 he had to his name, and that was in December. The next year, he made $1 million and never looked back. So he never doubted ever. He allowed the universe to bring it to him in the path of least resistance, and he never for 1 second doubted at all or was in a state of fear or panic. He trusted that when he had a desire, the universe was going to support him.
That's a good one. It's a really good one. While you were talking, I did think of one. So I have one of our clients was in the market for a new car, but if anyone has been in this situation during the times we're in, very hard to get a new car. My own husband has been looking for a truck for months and hasn't found one. He's not applying this material very well, but so the client really wanted a new car, knew exactly what kind of car that she wanted, but so she wanted to get the car. So as soon as she set her intention on, this is the car that I want, she didn't even start looking. Like, she just started acting as if she had it. She would talk to people about her new car. She decided like what accessories she wanted for her car. So she, doing the research online, as if she already had it. And then she told me she was driving and she saw the car that she wanted in the same color, same model, everything, like at a car dealership. She walked in, test drove it, and a week later it was hers. And her husband had told her that they couldn't get the car originally until one of their other bill, payments were over, because they still owed a lot of money on something else. But her husband decided, like, hey, they crunched the numbers, figured out, hey, we have enough money, like, whatever, let's just do it anyway. When originally it had been, we have to wait like another year. So everything worked out, and within a week, the car was hers. So in this market, when there's nothing around, and, so it really is magnificent when you come from that place, like the possibilities of abundance and prosperity. There is no limit, no matter what the situation is.
Yes. One of my favorite books is on prosperity is called A Love Without End, written by Glenda Green. And there's a quote in there that says, "The universe we live in is infinite and infinitely abundant." And, that was something that changed my outlook on abundance and the universe. So it really is infinite and infinitely abundant. And if we have an infinite belief in lack, the universe will support that lack. We will have an abundance of lack. If we have an infinite belief in abundance, the universe will shower us with an infinite supply of abundance. So there really is no lack. There's just an abundance of lack thinking. When we change our thinking, we change our outlook. It's
Oh,
always abundance. It just depends on where our focus is on.
I love that. I love that. And just for anyone who's listening who maybe has heard abundance, but for me, it hit home when I actually learned what abundance meant. And abundance means always there. So just to kind of put that into perspective, everything is always there. There is nothing that is not possible. The universe is limitless. So absolutely, if you're focused on poverty or I don't have enough of this or I'm not going to make it, then there will be an abundance of that for you.
Absolutely, so true.
Absolutely.
So absolutely. Well, this was awesome. This was so much fun, and I know time flies when we're talking about this. We could probably talk 15 hours on this subject. So,
Yeah.
any last words that we have for our audience?
I just want to, thank everyone for being here and being part of our community. Anything that anyone ever needs, we are here. We want to help and support you however we can. If there's any specific topics that you're interested in, let us know. And, let it flow. You can be prosperous. It's a new year, make this your year, and we are here to help you if you need it. Anything from you, Matt?
No, just same thing. And make when you hear that the term "make this year your greatest year," make every day your greatest day. Make every minute your greatest minute. Because, like you were saying, Jill, there is an infinite abundance of everything. Oxygen. There's no limitation to what we can create. So um, this was so much fun, and I wish everybody a great night. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.